So we've had a few key deliveries this week, and this is the first of them. This is our air source heat pump that's going to provide all of the heating basically in the house. We have no gas or oil here, so we are relying on this heat pump to actually provide it. As you see, it's quite a beast. I wasn't here when it was delivered, but I don't want to be about when they try and move it and actually place it where it's got to go. It's a, let's see if I can zoom in on that, a Valiant Aerotherm Plus, and I believe this is a 11 kilowatt model. It's basically got to go from here around the corner and connect where you can see those pipes just there. So my job today will actually be building a concrete base for it to stand on. Inside the house, first thing to notice is that the plasterboard has been back. So they've now actually plastered here. This is the entrance hall and what will be the dining room. That's all now been plastered. Or plasterboarded, I should say. They've still got to come back and actually skim. And that just there is actually the shuttering for the concrete base for the air source heat pump to go on. I built that just before lunch. So in the kitchen diner, even bigger delivery. This is actually the kitchen. This arrived on Monday and we've got it stored here waiting for the fitters to come. They should be here in about 2 to 3 weeks now, I believe. But it really has absolutely filled the kitchen with units. You can sort of see the outer grey. That's not actually the final colour that the units will actually be. That's just the edges of them. I'm not sure if there is actually... No, I can't see one of the doors, so you can all see the carcasses. The doors are actually all in these boxes down here. Okay, so buying with the air source heat pump for the heaviest thing to arrive, the solar batteries are actually here now and fitted, which is what that monstrous white box is on the wall there. That was so heavy that they had to reverse the van right the way around to the door as close as they could get to even manhandle it in. It's now all connected up. See, I believe it's a 10 kilowatt storage cell there, and controller etc for it up here. So that's now effectively all wired into the solar panels. So the DC side is all done, and we now need our electricians to actually do the AC side. It is quite a monster though. So downstairs again, this is the office. This is an east facing room, so it doesn't get an awful lot of sunlight, but we've decided to keep it fairly dark colours. So it's a fairly deeper bluey green colour. That's now had 3 coats of paint on it and it's looking pretty good. This was one of the rooms we were going to actually floor, but the floors weren't willing to do because of the moisture level in the air. So we'll have to come back and do this one. Upstairs in the void you can just see the plasterboard is starting to creep upwards, so it's come from downstairs now up to mid-level. We also had this windowsill fitted the other day. Couldn't get to it before because of no scaffolding. More plasterboard that way. Helen has been spending a lot of time this week actually trying to get the bathrooms and en-suites ready. So we now have a tiler coming. Again, I think he's in about 3 weeks' time, and he will be doing this, which is the main ensuite bathroom. As you can see, Helen's actually tanked the area where the shower is going to go. You can just see the shower tray down there, and you see the colour of wall colour variation there, where she's actually put her tanking around it to water seal it. Also put a sealing agent on most of the walls, or at least where water content may go, and where we're going to tile in effect for this ensuite. Same thing in the main family bathroom. Tanking here, which is where the shower is going to go, and then waterproof coating paint on the plasterboard where we're going to tile, which is basically round the window level. You can just see the colour variations. So last week we showed you us actually cutting the hatch for the loft hatching, and this is the one in the walk-in wardrobe. We actually got the surrounding, but we didn't show you the door. When we actually went to fit the door, it didn't quite fit in. There was obviously some compression at the side where we'd actually cut the hole, so Helen has been round and actually trimmed that back a bit, and we now actually have the door in it. I don't think it's actually locked closed at the moment because you can just see a gap there. But that's the first of the loft hatches done. We've still got to do another one in bedroom 4. So I think that's most of the progress so far. One of the big jobs we're trying to get done some, at least this weekend, is actually getting the insulation and OSBing up there in the rest of the void. So that's one end of the void, and then there is all of this panelling here above bedroom 3 that we've got to get the 100 mil insulation in and secured so that they can actually get the plasterboard up. Another nice job. Okay, so I've got the shuttering up. It's all lovely and level. I just left the spirit level in there, and that should be almost exactly dead centre, which is great. The pipe here is an outlet valve for if the heat pump actually vents water. If it goes into defrosting cycles or some other couple of reasons, it can actually vent water. Some people say it's a few drops. Some other things say it can be up to 15 litres if it's a full vent. So there's a pipe there. It's not exactly in the centre. It has to be about 60 centimetres from the back edge, according to the manuals. And then that goes underground down that pipe, and then there will be a soakaway there when I get round to actually digging it. It's not very far underground at the moment, and again, instructions are that it should be about 40 mil, I think, underground, 40 to 50 mil underground. But our ground level here will actually be, if you look at the bricks, the brick level just below where that wood is. So by the time we've actually brought our ground level up, it will be a substantial distance back underground. So in true Shropshire weather ways, it absolutely poured the rain and got dark last night before we'd finished doing the concrete base. So let's just go around the corner and see how it's come out. Oh, it hasn't fallen over, which is a good thing. So there you go, that was all full of hardcore, and I think it was 4 barrows of concrete we mixed up to actually fill that. Looks reasonably good. And there's the drainage pipe, bit of concrete sitting on a bit of concrete for that, and we'll need to dig another soakaway just here for the liquid. Concrete base, not the best of finishes. It still looks like there's a bit of liquid left on the surface, and it's fairly firm. We were debating it last night, so obviously we're going to take the wooden shuttering off from round it. And then we've actually got some slip tiles, and we actually might put a couple of inches of slip tiles round it to actually pretty it up a bit. Let's call it that. But hopefully that will be okay for the plumbers to actually fit the air source heat pump onto. Okay, we've just had a family conference and we've had a change of plan. So the plan now is, rather than actually cutting the polystyrene boards that we were going to fit in there for the insulation, loft insulation, we're actually going to put in the woolen insulation between the beams that's needed. We decided that'll be far easier to do before we actually start to board up the area. Else the only way we'll be able to get into it is through the loft hatch in the walk-in wardrobe, and then literally crawl through all of these beams from that point there all the way down here. So we're going to fit that now. Right, so that's 300 mil of insulation put into that loft space. 150 mil that went horizontally along the beams, and then another 150 mil line across the beams. So Helen is now just putting the last edging on to make sure we've got it right to the edge. And she's about to tell me she needs another piece.
And I need more, bigger bit for there, and another 20 for going across the edge.
Okay. So team insulation is still going. Once we started, we actually decided we'd just carry on. So in case anybody was wondering, this is how the insulation unrolls. So this is the 150 mil deep insulation. As you can see, it's actually pre-cut into 4 sections. So the wide sections here are 40 centimetres, then there's two 20 centimetres, then another 40. Our beams are actually nominally 600 apart, 600 mil apart, but actually they're about 56 when you've taken the beams out of it. So we actually need 120 and a 40 to actually make one strip down through our beams, which is quite handy. So basically undo is unroll them, that's about 3.5 metre length, then cut down the centre, roll them up, and that's what I take up to Helen. The other interesting thing is that it's still compressed when you originally get it out. So you can see that's the bit that's been left for about a couple of hours and it's uncompressed. So it actually fluffs up to about double the height it is when we originally put it in. So that should be the 150 mil depth. So this is the space above our walk-in wardrobe, ensuite and master bedroom. So Helen's just putting in the first 150 mil that you saw me cut a few moments ago. And then once we've done this one, there needs to be another 150 mil running in the opposite direction over the top of it. It's a lovely job.
Not my most favourite job in the world.
You're not enjoying it?
Not enjoying it.
So there is a use for the loft hat, which is actually filming Helen pulling the insulation.
I've only just realised that I've got to cut this roll so I don't actually roll it over the top of the loft hatch and seal myself in the loft.
Just a technicality there.
Yeah. Not one of my brightest ideas. Right.
So effectively that's the first 150 mil in the roof space above our bedroom.